We were just talking about John Cougar again.
Yeah.
He felt like John Cougar today.
Yeah.
And then
It's John Cougar Day.
I guess so,
That's
man.
a great album, too.
I think, yeah.
I love this one.
I'm a big fan of Plain Spoken. I just found a test press.
Really?
That's why that's in my head.
Oh.
I think it's a perfect, as you know,
Yeah.
I loved it when it came out.
Okay.
And then when I re-listened to it because of the test pressing, it's
Yeah.
probably been a year. I just fell in love with it all over again.
The last album was really good.
Oh, Strictly a One-Eyed Jack
Yeah.
is freaking
Yes.
awesome.
Yeah, yeah.
I agree.
So,
Start a video off with John Mellencamp. Good morning, everybody.
how you doing today? On that note, I bet this artist pops up for you, which is best concert experiences.
I'm gonna run it with just concert experiences.
Right. I know, yeah, you're doing that, and because Anthony couldn't do the entirety of the last one. Yeah, let's. The last video was worst concert experiences. We got a little bit of that there.
Let's just
But-
go with concert.
Concert
Let's go with
experience.
what we expect at a concert, maybe.
Yeah, I love how you always try to. You like to mishmatch. I'll come to you with 3 topics, and Anthony's like,
I
"Let's
like-
do them all." Just
Well, because our heads work differently, right? So
Right.
I like how, and I know that one thing leads to another. And
Yeah.
Sometimes I got nothing on topics.
yeah, I'm so.
That is, I'm not sure what that is,
I
but
got 2 of them. That's why I asked.
so John Cougar,
Uh-huh.
the tour 2015, which would have been the Plain Spoken tour,
Okay.
New York City. Steph got front row tickets for like
Oh,
$95.
wow. How did
Never
you-
saw Mellencamp front row
Like through
before.
the
So I
fan
was
club
stoked.
or just-
No, just she found them online before
Okay.
people were assholes with concert
Wow.
tickets. So we're sitting there. Now I'm getting up. I had
Uh-huh.
a couple beers. I'm dancing. I don't dance. I don't dance at concerts because I feel like an asshole. So I'm singing along. I'm going
Right,
nuts. Man, security came over and told me to sit down.
Oh, I've had that happen at Beacon. Like, not in a lot of places,
This
but
might have been Beacon.
yeah, Beacon Theater, the security will not let you stand.
Yeah.
What?
Well, all of the fans
Yeah.
around me who were asking me what song was happening,
Right?
how did I know so much? And
Right.
I'm thinking, like, I loved answering what song was on
Right.
or they were playing. And
What the name
but
is
at the
it?
same time, I'm also thinking, don't ask me any more questions because I want to enjoy the show.
Right.
But everybody around me stood up.
Yeah.
10, 15 people stood up
Yeah.
and told the security guy, get the F out of here.
Yeah.
Which was
Did-
awesome.
Did they leave it alone and let you see
He
it?
ended up leaving it
Oh.
alone. Now, Mellencamp really doesn't interact or stare at the crowd, so he
Right,
didn't give a
right.
shit. But the band saw me as the only white guy in the room dancing, and they were playing to me at some points. Yeah, Willie Weeks on bass came over.
They're feeding off your energy,
Yeah, the guitar player Andy came over to the other side of where I was because I was
Yep.
stage left.
right?
And so it was cool, man. And then at one point, a bunch of people rushed the stage and started dancing. And they got ushered away by security. Now, normally,
Right.
10, 15 years ago, Mellencamp would have said, hey,
Get
don't
off your
fucking do
asses.
that. I said
Oh,
10
yeah,
years
yeah.
ago.
Yeah.
10 years ago was the show. 20 years ago.
I know, right?
yeah.
Our minds are still set in the 90s, I think.
But I mean, so what do we expect when we go to a concert nowadays? Mike had some
okay.
points about the drunk people.
Yeah.
I like to go to a concert, and sometimes
And
I
nobody
like to
wants-
get lit up.
And nobody, no, but nobody wants to stand. Now I get it. People of a certain age, the artists were popular in the 70s and 80s. Their fans are going to be in the 60s and 70s and stuff, and maybe they can't.
And then you get that group of people
Right.
who are now just discovering this artist, and they want to dance, whether
Yeah.
they have a couple or not.
And I think people need to remember back to what concerts were really like,
Yeah.
where you stood the whole time, your fist was in the air, you were rocking out and enjoying it. I don't mind people getting drunk. I mind people being drunk assholes.
Yes.
That's the problem. Get drunk, have a good time, have your beers, man. Smoke your weed, whatever you want to do. I don't really care.
Don't
be an
interfere with
asshole.
other people's shit because
Yeah.
it is not just my show if I'm there, but it's your show if you're
That's
there. It's
right.
Mike's show if he's there. So we
It's-
have to be respectful. Do
Right,
what you
right.
want to do. Have the best time you feel you need to have.
You know, and if you're gonna dance, don't be knocking into the people next to you.
yeah.
And again, that's to me that they're so drunk they don't realize they're doing it. I know
Yes.
they're not doing it intentionally.
But then you get the frat boy assholes
right, wants to fight
that
you.
don't give a shit, and
Yes.
they're purposely elbowing
Yeah.
you to fight you, which
Well,
has happened many times. at shows.
That's like Mike's story last time with the guy in the t-shirt, right? They don't care. They're going to do it even when you tell them. The guy that I talked about last time holding the beer up at the Tom Petty and yelling my favorite song every time was cognizant when I would say, hey, can you not do that? Oh, yeah, no problem. I'm so sorry, And then I think just because he was so drunk, he'd start doing it one song later. He'd forget that I'd asked him that and whatever. But I don't think he was doing it to piss me off. He just was in the mood and not thinking and probably
Yeah.
so wasted. And,
There's-
the funny thing is that I thinking about this today, where I talked about that being one of my worst concert experiences. It's also one of the best because despite that guy,
The show was great.
the show was so good. Tom Petty was so on fire. He made certain songs that never moved me before suddenly
That's
moved
awesome.
me in the show.
Caught you. Just the guy, you know. I was that guy.
Yeah.
I was COC, Corrosion Conformity, just came back. They were playing Wonder Bar, which was
Yeah.
awesome. 10 years
Newer
ago, probably.
Yeah, okay, newer lineup, yeah.
Well, no, it's the guys.
Well-
Even Reed Mullen was back on drums before he passed.
Oh.
No, it was all four.
Okay, okay.
Yeah. Well, not original with
I know.
Pepper original,
Yes,
not
yeah.
Carl Angle or
That's
or
what
the
I'm
other guy
talking
original.
about. Yeah.
So I was
Hardcore.
stoked. I went to go see him.
Mhm.
Now it's COC, man.
Yeah.
Right? I had a
Oh.
beer in each hand. I was singing along to the songs. I was
Okay.
going nuts. Everybody
Uh-huh.
with me and behind me was going nuts,
Right.
except for the one dude hanging on the barrier that I kept getting bumped into because it was a pit.
Right,
most
sure.
of the time.
Yeah.
I didn't want to be in the pit.
Okay.
I'm on the outside of the pit, but people kept bumping into me, which caused me to bump into that guy. Now this guy's getting pissed. He yelled at me a couple of times. I'm thinking, hey man,
Yeah. Yeah.
this is beyond my control.
Absolutely.
Don't fucking stand at the railing.
Yeah, exactly. Don't be front rowing at the railing if you
And then
don't
wonder
want that.
why you're getting hit.
Yeah.
Now you're the asshole.
Yes, I agree completely with that because at the Misfits show that I went to, huge, I don't call it a mosh pit, but crowd surfing and all that craziness and stuff. I got kicked in the head a number of times, but I wanted to be front row.
So that's on
That's
us.
on me.
Yeah, 100%.
I knew that I was too old to be up front there. All the
But you
kids
did it
around
anyway.
Yeah,
Didn't
exactly.
care.
I did not care for that show, and that's one of my all-time favorite shows. And yes, it's the newer lineup, or was the newer lineup before Glenn Danzig had come back into it. But man, I don't know what it was. Those
You all
guys
set?
just absolutely moved me.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, so the Misfits show, man, was just amazing for me at least. And then after the show, you know, a lot of people had left or whatever. They came out and walked between the barrier and the stage, signed autographs, and got a guitar pick and stuff like that. So beyond
cool.
the show being really
The
super
whole experience
cool,
was awesome.
yeah, and I filmed through it. I know a lot of people hate that. Jerry played into it, man. He got down in front and started really singing right into the camera
So
and everything.
now, okay, so this brings us to a whole new level of concert going. Why
Right.
did you film? And how many times have you viewed that?
I've actually viewed it a lot.
Why couldn't you just watch some other assholes filming? Why'd you have to be another asshole with a camera filming? How much of it did you film? Did you film
filmed-
the whole thing?
I filmed the whole song. I did not film the whole show.
One song?
One
Oh,
song.
You know what?
London Dungeon. I was
I
waiting for
think-
that song.
all right.
He played it, and I was waiting for him. He was had 3 different mics
Cool.
that he would sing at, and he came over to sing at that mic, so I filmed that.
Now I'm
thing.
not overtly against that.
Yeah.
But the guys who stand
Oh,
there,
no, the whole time.
the
Forget it.
whole
No.
time,
Yeah, I
and
agree.
you were losing the experience because you're not actually experiencing the show.
Mm-hmm. Right.
You're looking at it through a lens.
Yeah.
That you're most likely never going to look at again, or you're going to be that asshole that walks into a place and says, "Look, I got video." Nobody wants to see it.
No, I know.
Nobody cares.
Nobody cares.
I don't want to watch your
Yeah.
videos.
Yeah, exactly.
Mainly because you're going to tell me how great it sounded.
And
It's
it
a
sounds like
fucking
shit on the phone. Yeah.
No, it doesn't sound good. Okay.
Right. Yeah, I mean, I always take at least one video, and I take a few snaps when I'm there. And that's just for me to remember it after. And
I get it.
I am that guy. I do that. I know there are people that don't like that. I don't like it when somebody does it through the whole concert.
Sometimes I leave my phone at home or in the car when I go to a show because I don't want
Yeah.
I don't want my concert experience. I mean, I go to 10 to 30 shows a year.
Yeah, that's a lot.
So I don't want that just takes away from it.
It does.
I hate that I'm older and I have to piss a lot.
I've thought about that because having the phone, I think to myself during it, oh, that would be a great shot. I should take that. And I end up taking more shots than I ever intended to. I always think, oh, I'm going to do it right at the beginning. I'm going to get my shots done and out of the way, and then I'm just going to sit back and enjoy. But I always end up pulling my phone out more than that.
My best memories of concerts
Mm-hmm.
were the ones that I never had a phone.
Yeah.
Because I absorbed it. I took the whole thing in. I
True,
remember
true.
more about concerts I saw the first 10 years of my concert going life than I do of the last 10 years because, well, the last couple I'm getting better with
Right.
because I don't have that thought. That's a perfect thought.
Yeah.
Oh shit, maybe I should capture this for myself and so I can show every other asshole that doesn't want to see my assholeness.
right.
You know, so my concert experience has been getting better because I don't pay attention to
That's
a phone
true.
when I'm there.
That's a good point, man. You're not checking your phone. You're not having outside thoughts. If you can stay in the moment, You're gonna remember it that much more.
I can envision almost the whole Rage Against the Machine show in '96 in my head because I didn't have a phone and I was there, just like transfixed.
I have that with one of the best shows I ever saw was the reunited lineup of Rat. Maybe it was 2010, somewhere around there. Wasn't with Robin Crosby, obviously. It had Carlos Cavazo from Quiet Riot filling in. Whatever it was about that show, though, I was over the moon. I was like a kid on Christmas Day. I might as well have been back in 1989 or something.
Because it was pretty badass.
It was. The whole thing, the lights, the... what's his name? Juan Crucier, the bass player, was doing a spin that he used to do back in the day. I mean, it was like...
Didn't break his hip. It's
no,
awesome.
I know, right? And that show is just burned into my head. It's
awesome.
You know,
how many pictures and videos did you take of that show?
I did take a video and I took a bunch of pictures, but I don't know, man. I love it. And I do go back and watch it because when I think about how great that show was, I'm like, I gotta go see that video again. And it's not about the sound quality. It's just that it literally puts me right back into
I get it, yeah.
For that moment.
I do understand it.
I recorded the song One Step Away.
And then I also think why do I need to take out my phone and record something when there clearly are 3,000 other people?
You don't need to today because it's all over the internet. Meaning, like, if you're not filming it, the guy next to you
that's what I just said. Yeah,
and
there's 3,000 other idiots filming. So
and it's probably better.
If I need to go back,
right,
I can do that.
That's true.
I've never been a video guy anyway. I don't give a fuck.
I had done more of it in the last 4 years because of this channel with the intention and some of the things. I saw Little Feat, I saw Deep Purple, Slayer, and I made segments that got posted up about the concert experience. So from 2019 forward, I've been doing it more with the intent of I have a place to put it up and share with people in that regard. Not that that should change anything, but that is why I've done more of it.
I understand it, but I still disagree with it. It's just like, man.
I know.
Because
you'd hate me at
you know
shows.
what? Get a fucking press pass.
I would like one. Yeah.
All you got to do is email the band's management, say I'd
Yeah.
like a press pass. Here's what I do. They send you a press pass, and you can sit there away from the audience, at the barricades, side of stage, backstage, and film and take pictures all you fucking want.
New idea.
I'm surprised you didn't know that already. Holy shit.
I assumed I had to be affiliated with a magazine or agency or
You're
something.
affiliated with fucking
With YouTube.
whatever your YouTube channel is.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're good. I think you're good. They'll give you sometimes they give you one song, 3 songs, the whole show.
Right.
Try that shit.
I'm
Reach out
going
their
to now.
management, man.
Whew.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
Shows should be what you make them.
They are.
Don't mess with anybody else's concert going experience because we're all going to be. It's going to be different for all of us.
Right. But then there's also those people that are just crabby.
Yeah.
Like it doesn't matter.
Nothing makes them happy.
Nope, nothing makes them
They're
happy.
still playing this song. They're not playing this song. They're only playing the hits.
Right.
They're not playing the hits. It's,
Right. Why aren't they playing this?
What's up, buddy?
Yeah.
How you
How's it
doing,
going?
man? It's like
Good to see
6
ya.
of one, half dozen of the other.
Exactly. Right. So you almost can't win in some of those situations. Another show that was surprisingly good that sticks with me, and that's not going to resonate for you, but I saw Paul McCartney.
Cool.
And I wasn't expecting a lot. Someone had given me tickets as a gift. I am a fan of his and whatnot, but again, I didn't think it was going to move me the way that it did, and from the very first song until the end. But
How cool is that?
But what it was that moved me more than anything was how energetic and into it Paul McCartney was. And I think he was 75.
True musician, bro.
Yeah, but
He still loves it.
He was having a ball.
Yeah.
And because he was so into it, and then of course the crowd was into it, those Beatle fanatics that were into it. I'm just there and I'm just like, this is like the old days, because everyone was having an amazing time. And yet, it's not like Paul McCartney's on the tops of the charts or anything, or the big hit person
Doesn't
that's
need to
out
be.
there. Doesn't need to be. Because nowadays when I go to shows, my biggest disappointment is that they don't live up to what they were when I saw them originally during their heyday. Not because the band isn't as good, the crowds aren't as good, in my opinion.
Okay.
But one of the most recent shows when I say recent, this is the last 5 years, I don't remember, this is probably before the pandemic, Scorpions with Megadeth opening. And Scorpions, those guys are older too, and it was like they were doing it for the very first time. They were out there rocking,
That's awesome.
doing the guitars and swinging and singing to the people in the crowd, and They had one of those things that jets out into the audience. I couldn't believe it. And I've seen them 3 different times, and I would swear this time they were more into it than any previous time.
That's awesome.
Meaning when they were younger.
See, now I'm one of those people that tries to stay away from stadium or big shows, anything I can.
Yeah, this was an arena, but
I've seen
yeah.
Quicksand probably 5 times in the last 3 years,
Right.
maybe 6. And
Sell it all.
they're just
What is the blur?
it's
And
incredible
what
every
size
time.
venues? Like 500 person?
500 to 3,000.
Oh, okay.
I've got tickets
Wow.
to see them twice in the same week next year.
Oh wow, cool.
So, and those guys just come in and kill it every time. Same kind of thing.
Yep.
You know, they never lost
anything.
the love of it. At one
Yeah.
point they did. That's why they broke up. But,
Right.
And that's how invigorating is that?
yeah, it is. It's great.
And it does, even if they sounded like shit, we'd never know. Because we're so caught up in the moment and their energy and the crowd's energy and our own energy.
It's true. I mean, people complain all the time about Axl Rose's voice and their performances and stuff. Yet I've never felt that when I'm in seeing them.
Same with me.
But I
I
have
look back
seen
at the
them-
video and go, oof.
Yeah, go,
But
good
when you're
Lord.
there,
Yeah,
hey man,
yeah.
leave your expectations at the door.
Right.
Don't expect anything from anybody. You'll never be disappointed.
True. I will say that when Axl Rose sang for AC/DC, and I saw that show at the Garden, he sounded great, and I have video from that. And when I watched it back later, I was like, "Whoa, he really did sound good."
awesome.
I was like, "So why doesn't he sound
Bruce
like that?"
shows are always great.
Yeah.
Most concerts I go to are incredible. One that I didn't like,
Uh-huh.
a band called The Kills. We've talked about before. I love The Kills.
Okay.
I've seen them many times.
Yeah.
The last time they toured, I was excited, ready.
Mm-hmm.
Now they came out as just Jamie and Allison, just 2 people, and that's what they normally. They're a 2-piece.
Okay.
All right. They programmed it.
Okay.
But it was awful.
Oh.
Awful.
Yeah.
I was expecting the full band. Every time I saw them before that, they had a full band.
Right.
So there was a drummer.
They
There was a
hadn't
bass player.
advertised for this, or
No, it was just a show, and I guess they just left the band at home. More money for them, whatever
Right,
the
right.
reason.
But
3
it didn't
songs in,
sound
I
good.
walked out.
oh, really?
Yeah, it was fucking dull, and I love that band.
I've never walked out from a band.
I walked
But I
out on another
consider-
band because I didn't like them.
Yeah, I considered twice, and I talked about it in the last video, the worst concert experiences, where it was Jefferson Starship, because they were just not in tune whatsoever. It was horribly cacophonous sounding. And the Guns N' Roses show, which was way too loud. It didn't feel good, and it was bothersome. Literally hurt my ears, and I was ready to leave. I luckily got some earplugs, and but I also, it's like I feel like I won't leave before the encore. I have to stay to the very end. I can't not. People were like, "Oh, I got to go make the train. I got to catch."
See ya.
Yeah.
Because people have tried to get me to leave before. No,
Oh, no.
Nope.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what. I'll find a way home.
That's right.
See ya.
That's-
So that's why
I have to see every.
Steph and I
song.
drive ourselves to a show, and
Right.
if you're going to come to a show with us, you're sitting through the whole thing.
Yeah.
There is no, and you're probably going somewhere afterwards if it's in New York.
Correct. Yeah, you're gonna go get food or something.
No, we're going to drink.
Oh, drink. Well, you guys go to drink.
Or we're going to hang out with the band.
Yeah.
There's a lot of things that we're going to do. So if
After
you
the
plan
show.
on coming to a show with us,
Yeah.
we're not going right home.
No, that was my thing too. Some of my best experiences are waiting outside the venue for the band to come out, like where their tour buses park and things like that. And we'd go wait out there for a couple hours after the show and meet the band. And that, to me, that was just part of the concert experience.
Yeah.
You had to get there, you had to get front row, you see all the performances, you stay till the encore, then you ask to get the set list and stuff like that, or a guitar pick, and the roadies hook you up. You go outside, you wait to meet the band, and after meeting the band and getting all your signatures and stuff, then we go somewhere to get food. And it was like, you didn't go home till 3 or 4 in the morning, but that's just
100%.
That's a
I
concert
still
experience.
don't get home till 3 or 4 in the morning. But my thing is, I want to get there. I'll if I don't like the opening bands, I'm not going to be there.
I am
don't
that way
care
now.
about being in front anymore. I like to be the guy in the back,
Yeah.
enjoying it by myself.
Yeah.
And then after, I get the hell out of there and I go somewhere and have some beers. I meet friends somewhere, especially if I'm in the city.
Yeah.
There's a bunch of places I like, a bunch of friends out there that it's part of my experience now.
But you did the other when you were younger.
Oh, that's all I did.
Right.
Yeah,
that's
you
what I
got
mean.
there early, you saw everything.
You've
went,
been, you've been through it.
100, yes.
Yeah.
But so that's why my thing is 100%. Yeah, man.
Yeah.
I am the
I
outcast of
hear
the show.
you. I'm like that too now. I don't need to be front row. If I can get it, great. But I don't need to be, and I don't need to meet the bands and all that
Nope,
sort of
I
stuff
don't care
that I did.
anymore.
I mean, again, another one of my favorite concert experiences, and a lot of mine revolve around having met the band. But in '99, Great White was out on the road for, I don't know if it was like a Rock Never Stops type tour, but Poison was the
They're
headliner.
promoting that record.
Yes, and it was
Great
that
record,
tour.
man.
That's right.
Can't get there from here.
and it was LA Guns, Poison was headlining. Oh, Rat. So it was Poison, Rat, LA Guns, and Great White. I think LA Guns opened and then Great White. But I saw Audie Desborougugh, the drummer, just hanging out at the side, just looking out at the crowd. And show hadn't started yet. I was like, I know who that guy is. And I always bring my CD booklets from each of the bands, and so and a Sharpie, and I ran over and I got him to sign. Can't get there from here.
That's awesome. Yeah, I don't have.
Yeah, and then he called out Michael Lardy and he signed it.
I just want to see the show and go home now.
Yeah. Now back then I had to meet the band.
Yeah, you did everything. I had to get that way. I hung out all night for Ian.
That's
Billy
a
wouldn't
band
come
I
off
never
the
met.
fucking tour bus. The guy who always comes out.
Yeah, didn't. Man,
And then Ian came out. Ian was awesome.
I met all of Faith No More, waiting out by their tour bus.
Chuck Mosley, Faith No More, or Mike Patton?
No, Mike Patton, Faith No More. This was in the mid '90s. This was
cool.
on the Angel Dust tour, I think.
That's 92,
Oh,
93.
92? Yeah, somewhere around there. Oh my God, they were the nicest guys.
That's awesome.
They tour bus. They'd opened the side. They pulled out all their luggage and stuff. They're just changing on the street. They're getting out of their, the show clothes and getting into new stuff. And we're just having conversation and talking for like an hour.
That's cool.
It was very cool. Yeah. But I love those experiences.
Concerts are what you make them. And again, don't mess with anybody else's experience.
true.
There's so many.
Those were before cameras too.
Thank God.
In the 90s, when I would go see those shows, like you said, and I think that's why those shows stand out more to me. 99, before having cell phone cameras and stuff. So I remember it. It's like that moment where you see them or something happen or they play that song, just whatever it is, and it's like,
imagine missing the first 30
excited.
seconds of that song because all you can think about is taking out your phone to capture it.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what a lot of people do.
See,
and it's silly.
I pre-plan. I look up on setlist.com and I know the songs that are going to be played, and so I know the song that's coming before it, and I'm all ready to go.
Now that's another. So
for my favorite song.
I see various bands a year.
Yeah.
I feel like you see the same 3 bands, right? So what I like is that most of the bands that I see don't do the same set list all the time.
Right.
And I don't spoil my night by looking at the set list because it's important to me to not know what they're going to play.
Yeah, for me, I need it the other way around because I don't want to spend the money and then have them do something else that I didn't want to see, that I'm not interested in. If a band is going to play...
But it's not just about you, it's about the experience.
That's true, but I don't want that experience. And I will go see them a different time.
I wholeheartedly disagree with that.
Like when a band plays an album in its entirety, I could care less. I don't want to see that.
I'm there for the experience and whatever they want to play, and I hope that it's not the same set list because then it's a contrived fucking catastrophe, and I feel like the band just running through the motions.
Yeah,
I see the Dirty Heads 3 or 4 times a year.
But you see these in smaller clubs and whatnot where there's not necessarily programmed lighting and things, pyrotechnics. So a lot of these bigger bands that I go see that you're talking about can't change it up.
Well, they can. They're just fucking lazy because remember seeing Guns N' Roses back then in the 90s and they had pyrotechnics and their set list changed every single night.
Not all the time. Meaning when I say that because
it changed enough.
Opener was set and Mr. Brownstone was set. Then they picked something. There were certain songs that were key that were set.
That's okay.
Yeah.
Have certain songs, but change up in between.
But I just meant, the pyrotechnics and things could still do it.
And I don't like shows with pyrotechnics, which is the reason I love Pearl Jam because... Or Bruce.
Yeah,
I don't want fireworks at my concert. I just want the music. I don't want the naked lady on the album cover to sell the album.
Yeah.
Just give me the thing that, but again, to each their own.
That's right.
To
each their own, man. I mean, for me, getting all of that makes it the show. To go see the band.
Which makes sense to me, but doesn't make sense to me.
Right. And then when there's bands like Tom Petty and Bruce Springsteen and stuff like that, I only want the music and I only want the band. And it's I don't know, it's a different thing.
Yeah.
It's like if I go see Megadeth, I want pyrotechnics.
Which is why, and that's why
Scorpions.
That's why it's awesome.
I need the
just
drummer
human because everything is that fucking different between each individual.
Well, and we're all a bunch of contradictions.
Yeah,
about
life
what we like and what we want.
But a contradiction.
And, go see this band and for whatever particular reason, but then you won't go see another one or whatever it might be. And I'm like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. But anyway, great concert experiences. Yeah, there's some duds in there. So weigh in, guys, and let us know your favorite concert experiences. And if you didn't weigh in on the last one, let us know some of the worst.
And here's a public service announcement for you. That guy that called me a fucking asshole, yes, I might be a fucking asshole, but call me a fucking asshole for the right reason. When I'm trying to
run the
we're
store.
filming this with the store open. So that gentleman you saw walk in front of me, That's why we're here.
Yeah, that's
okay?
exactly why we're here. We don't stop filming for that. We let the
So-
customers do what they need to do.
You were wrong for calling me a fucking asshole for that. You can stick to it, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But you, for whatever reason you think that was okay, that's what bothers me.
Yeah, I agree. Why be able to do that from
Yeah.
behind the camera?
Yeah, it's yeah. So we
exactly.
film while we're open. People coming in and out. We say hello to people. Different people get
Yeah.
to get in on the video.
You answer
when they come
questions
in.
to Mike.
Yeah.
You know, where to play
Yep.
stuff. What
so
to
maybe
do.
that guy needs to go back and review some of the old videos.
Yeah.
You know, but it's just like being at a concert, being anywhere. Don't be a dick.
Don't be a dick. Don't be the drunk asshole. Maybe he was drunk.
Maybe he was the drunk asshole.
He's the guy we don't like at concerts.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. They're out there. All right, everyone. See you later.
Thank you.